Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. And yourself?
Not covered in paint, so that's a plus.
Totally covered in paint.
Yeah, 100%.
Does my face look like my sweater?
Parts.
I'm glad it's being creative.
You are. You're wearing your creativity all over yourself.
Yeah, I would have put on a different hoodie had I known my painting endeavor would have been so
But
messy.
now people are looking at me like, oh man, she likes retro cartoons and paints. So telling people about yourself.
So I've got a bone to pick with you.
All right.
What?
Seems to be a lineup with my roommates.
Oh, why? What other bones have been
Oh, it doesn't
picked?
matter. It depends on the day, depends on the person in front of me.
You've just been calling us monkeys or some variation of monkey. What was the last one? Actually, I just wanted clarification. I can't even remember. The monkey stopped typing.
Yeah. I don't know what I said, but it was in the heat of the moment because you guys were pissing me off with another card game.
Oh, oh, the card game. That's right. We're playing hearts.
Yeah. Which is, if anybody hasn't played it, don't. It's dumb.
I love that game.
I hate that game.
But there is
Nothing
strat.
has made me want it to be a single white male in my midlife that more than that game. Like, it's the worst. Like, I would be okay, like, sitting on a milk crate watching a crappy TV just to never have to play that game again.
And is
Is
it playing that game with us?
I've never played it with anybody else. So by default, yeah. But
Oh,
I don't know. It could be just as awful with other people.
but there is strategy. I think that's what it was. We were strategizing, but you're like, how are you explaining it? I can't even remember. It was
No, I had
fun
a
though.
strategy. I
Oh,
have a strategy.
you have a strategy.
Yeah, I have a strategy when I come to the game. And you guys, you glue sniffers, show up and just do whatever in the moment, and it doesn't make sense. And then you're just like, ah, and then yeah, you're like, yeah. That's why I said it's like I showed up with a deck of cards, and all you monkeys stopped typing and started playing hearts. That's what it is like playing with you.
Yeah. I do have a strategy, and that's why I win all the time. So clearly your strategy is not as good.
Because it's rooted in logic and reality. And you guys are just like, well, let's go see what happens.
No,
And then when that doesn't work, you're just like, so can I just take back that turn? Can I just redo everything that I just did? If I had known that you were going to do that, I would have done something completely different.
that's
Well,
not
yeah,
true.
it's 100 that I hear that 6 times a card game. Oh, can I just take that card back? Because if I'd known you were going to do that, I wouldn't have played that card. I would have played another card. Well, yeah, that's what cards are about.
No.
100%. It's the dumbest game. Hurts my soul. Is there a
Oh,
bone to pick in there somewhere?
no, that was it. Just calling us monkeys or something.
Is it inaccurate?
Don't shake your head.
It is 100% an accurate statement.
Because there was another time too, something
Yeah,
was happening.
probably you guys would be a complete whatevers on another game. Yeah. I think we're a read in silence family from here on out. Like I think that's our pastime.
Even this morning too.
I can't remember what that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you think we're all over the map all the time.
Yep. Like is this a podcast episode about confirming obvious assumptions? Because yep. You guys, honestly, it's like cats with a lot more hair. That's what living with you guys is like. No, it's unbelievable. It truly is remarkable.
Speaking of cats,
Yeah,
we got a new puppy
we sure did.
who's very reminds me of a cat.
Yeah, she's very interesting.
The way she plays, like will jump after a ball or a piece of string, or
Yeah,
she even sounds like a cat.
sometimes yeah, the way she yawns and stretches.
And some of her play, like her little sounds when
But
she's
I mean,
playing.
thankfully, she's a small dog, so we don't have to worry about getting in trouble.
She's small now because she's 9 weeks old.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
How big do you think she'll be? Like
Um,
110
Probably like
pounds?
a 1983 Golf GTI. Like she'd be big. She's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Like her paws are already the size of Sunny's face. Like she's massive.
Well, we have a Pyrenees, and she's definitely gonna be bigger than the Pyrenees.
Well, let's be fair though. She's not a full size Pyrenees.
No.
We're very lucky. She's like a more of a retriever. But anyways,
Anyway, what's your topic, sir?
well, in light of recent events, I thought it would behoove us to discuss strategies for when your kids start breaking the law.
I was wondering which recent events
Yeah.
put that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for a little background, one of our children, not naming any names, decided at about 10:30 at night that she and her boyfriend needed to go get honey pepperoni pizza from Panago.
Delicious.
Cool.
FYI.
Yeah, fill your boots. So, after painting for an hour or two, they embarked on this, and I was sitting doing something, waiting. I was at the front of the island, minding my business and watching the puppy, making sure she settled for the night, when my phone rang. And it just said private number. And I thought, that's weird that a private number would be calling me at 11:30 at night. That usually means police. I should probably answer that.
Does it actually mean how
Yeah.
many police calls have you gotten at night from private numbers?
The most recent one was a few years ago when they were calling from outside of our house
Oh yeah, that's right.
because none of us would wake up. So they called my phone, and I thought, well, that's weird that I'm getting a phone call from a private number at 2 in the morning. And I answered it to hear, this is Constable so-and-so. Is there anybody at the residence right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sleeping. And he was surprised. He was genuinely surprised that we were asleep. But anyways, so the phone call rang the other day. It was a private number. Answered it. Sure enough, it is a constable from one of the local dispatches, one of the local precincts, asking if I am the registered owner of a 1990 Mustang LX, which I am, officer. Yeah, it's absolutely technically my car. It's odd that you'd be calling, just inquiring about that. So I'm assuming you've laid eyes on this vehicle recently. Can you fill me in on what's happening, please? To which he very calmly explained to me that he had met the occupants of the vehicle, which was my daughter, who shall not be named, but bought this car herself, and a male acquaintance of hers who may or may not have been the same boy that was just at my house 20 minutes earlier. So yeah, basically it's wintertime where we live. It was snowing that night. It was late at night. They went to pick up the pizza and went to a far part of the parking lot and decided to do donuts.
In Walmart, yeah.
Yeah, managed to do two before the cop lights came on and they got pulled over in the parking lot. So, it was just an interesting process because both the kids were expecting their lives to be over. Maya, not so much, but I believe her boyfriend very much thought he was going to be murdered at the hands of his girlfriend's father.
And Maya was saying like that she thought he was going to puke.
Yeah, he was very nervous. He was nervous.
Such
He
a
was
good
upset.
kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid and whatever. So I wasn't upset. I was more upset about the administrative error that caused the issue, which is not relevant to the podcast. But whatever, like they were doing donuts in a parking lot in the middle of the night, right? And the cop even said himself, there was no cars around. They just almost hit a curb. Well,
And he wasn't drinking. Like he did a
Yeah.
breathalyzer.
every like I had just seen the kids like half an hour earlier, and I knew it. They're good kids. So they came home. We talked about it. I jokingly said, but kind of seriously, I mean, donuts are fun. I just did one the other day, leaving a parking lot because I could, and it was awesome. And so I myself personally am like, I couldn't really get mad at them. But in talking to other parents, they were amazed that I didn't get mad at them. Like, genuinely, well, what about your insurance? And what about this? And what about that? And I'm like, what about it? Like, nothing happened. So the question boils down to, in a situation like that, where you find yourself at an impasse, how as a parent, and I'm not passing judgment, like some parents are going to be more strict than us. I am very sure that the boyfriend went home and received a much harsher interrogation than the one he received from me.
Immediately. He was immediately summoned home.
Yes.
First of all, I wouldn't have told my parents at all. This is how good of a kid he is. He
Yeah.
immediately let his dad know. His dad did not need to know anything.
His dad would have never known anything.
Would have never known.
Unless he needed the money. But anyways.
But the kid is so good that he would have felt bad.
Yeah.
Lying. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. And that's, again, why, in my mind, the incident was, okay, was anybody hurt? No. Did they do anything really illegal? Not really. Like a donut is a donut. Were they doing anything overtly dangerous? Nah, not really, again, right? But I guess the question is, how do you approach it? Or how, as a parent, do you approach it when this happens? Like, how do you understand, or how do you take stock? I'm trying to form the question in a more succinct way, but how can you look at the situation for what it really is
Yeah.
and treat it appropriately? Because again, I'm not judging anybody else's reaction to it, right? Any parent that wants to react to it however they want, that's fine. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell them how to parent, just like I wouldn't expect them to do. But at the end of the day, this kid was driving technically my car, right? It's my car, but my car. It is her car. She was okay with him driving.
Hmm.
Everything that would have happened to that car is her responsibility to deal with, not mine.
Yeah.
Right. So when is it appropriate and to what degree to really lose your mind?
Yeah.
And how should you approach it in a way that's constructive, I guess is the question. Because this kid thought he was dead. Like he legitimately thought he was going to die. Maya, not so much. She's like, no, like my dad will think this is funny and call us idiots. And that's precisely what I did. I'm like, you two are dumb. You should have picked a better parking lot where there weren't cops, number one. Number two, why are you telling your parents? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But like legitimately, like what am I going to be mad about? So that's kind of the question I have
I
is,
think there was a moment that she was worried. I think it's more about the disappointment. And for me, that means we raise them right,
Mhm.
right? That they're worried, not about punishment but that we were going to be disappointed. Just so you know, she was like he was or Maya's boyfriend was completely freaking out like, oh my God, I never told you this, but I am really scared of your dad. He was so scared
Yeah,
about what your
he
reaction
thought I was going to end his life.
and legitimately would never be able to see Maya
Yeah.
again and all of these things. But
And again,
all this to say,
I don't know where the line is for me, right? I know this isn't the line. Like
yeah.
that's just a fun boneheaded thing to do. And frankly, I think kids need to do stuff like that. Like I'll be completely I know people don't agree with that, but I did a ton of that stuff as a kid. It was fun.
And kids are going to, I want them, there could be worse things. They're at that stage in these teenage
Yeah.
years that they need to experiment. They need to do risk-taking behaviors. They need to do all of this
Yeah.
stuff. There is way worse things that they could be doing.
Like they legitimately went to the zoo to look at Christmas lights, came home and painted and ate Doritos, and then drove 10 minutes away to go get pizza. Like if that's not one of the most wholesome nights I've ever heard of,
Yeah.
like to me, the donuts are just, yeah, cut loose. Do three.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. Do three donuts before the cops show up.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He painted a like mountain landscape, but on like a Saturday night.
Yeah.
But anyway, first of all, us losing our mind on anything is never going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Us just getting dysregulated, no matter what our kids do. Now, what are the lines? All families need to think of what their red lines are. It's so funny because our younger one was just asking us what would really get us mad.
And I said, talking to me and making eye contact. That's what I said. I looked her dead in the eye and made sure she knew.
And Maya and I have had conversations since this donut incident too, like drinking and driving.
I'd be pissed. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is a line that is crossed. You are, even if you weren't the driver, you got into a car with someone who has been drinking, you're done.
Yeah.
Like that is punishable. But in this instance, it's all about natural consequences. They did get a ticket. It could have been way worse.
Absolutely. The cop was great.
The initial charges, I think Maya said there was something like 8 charges that would have like added up to over $1,200. But
now, to be fair, too, anyway,
he thought it was a stolen car.
He did, and that's why he called,
things.
right? And that was the administrative issue. I think we talked about this. They probably would have gotten away with a warning, except the car came back as unregistered because shout out to AMA's auto registration system not working. But anyways, the cop was cool, and he called and said, "Hey, I just need to verify," and I was able to confirm the information. And he himself, when I explained, "Hey, it should be auto registered," was super cool. He's like, "Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I'm not going to write for the registration piece, just so you know it's not, go fix it. Done. No problem." And so to me, I'm like, in a weird way, if they hadn't been being boneheads, I wouldn't have known because my assumption was this thing was registered and we were rolling, right? So anyways.
It would have been interesting if they told us, or like if they did get off and without anything.
Yeah.
But I think so. It was just like just under $200
Yeah, it wasn't crazy.
for driving too far on the wrong lane.
He called it driving across the center lane or something. Yeah, which is hilarious because it's a parking lot. But anyways, so it's a natural consequence. Yeah.
I mean, if other parents are getting upset, like insurance and all of this, okay, fine, then great. That's a great natural consequence, kiddo. Insurance has gone up. You got to pay for that extra insurance, right? Yeah. So for me, I'm all about natural. If she ruined her car, well, that sucks for you, I guess. Like, how are you going to figure out getting to work?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the natural consequence. We don't us stepping in, they're never going to learn from their behavior,
Totally.
right? And that's why we want the natural. Sometimes we have to implement logical consequences. Um, but yeah, like them learning, because as soon as we get lectury and naggy and anything, that's going to be a problem. But yeah, the big ticket things for me would be at this age, like the drinking and driving.
Yeah, I think when Willow asked, I think that was my answer was I don't ever want to hear of you getting into a car with someone drinking. You've always got an option, right? I don't want you like that's a situation where you allowed yourself to be put into a bad spot. And that's a life-altering spot potentially, right? You getting behind the wheel, absolutely not. Like you'll never see a car keys as long as I breathe if I see you doing that,
Yeah.
right? Like it's because it's just it's one of those things that's fully in your control. And we've always been open about you've got an option. I'll get up at 3 in the morning. I'll go pick you up from wherever. I don't care how hammered you are. I don't care whatever. We'll go get your car the next day. You call me,
Yeah.
right? No consequence. You call me. So there's no excuse in my mind for that. This to me, this is a low, this is a low kind of impactful thing. Like again, we used to go, we used to pull each other on sleds behind the
Yeah.
car in
Yeah. I was
parking
just
lots,
gonna say
right?
that.
Like
Yeah.
we used to do things that were so much more dangerous, but for the same reasons. And again, maybe it's different with different kids that have harder impulse controls and struggle with making good decisions all the time. We have kids that make good decisions. We're very lucky. This boyfriend very much makes good decisions, right? I think there needs to be an allowance to just mess up,
Yeah.
right? Like, what's the worst that happens? Absolute worst that happens, they hit someone, right? They don't see someone in the parking lot, they hit someone. Well, natural consequence, maybe that person shouldn't have been walking through the parking lot in the middle of the night. No, I'm kidding. But but I mean that's the absolute worst case, right? In this instance, this is a really low risk and just something fun. And I know people out there are going to disagree with me, right? Like how can, but at the end of the day, nobody was hurt.
And that 40 minutes of them shaking in their
Yeah.
boots with the cop, because the cop took like half an hour, 40
Oh
minutes,
yeah, he
them
took his time.
shaking in their boots. That was learning enough. We don't need to get in the way of that learning and
Yeah.
that fear, right?
Yeah.
Even if they hit somebody, we would rob them of the horror of that incident if we inserted ourselves with lecturing and
No.
yelling and, like we just need them to sit in the own horror of that act.
Yeah. Does that apply to when that same child within 24 hours gets herself stuck outside of town? Is that just should she sit in the horror of that decision?
That was just like an adventure.
Like like dude was racking up life lessons this weekend
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah. Waving down a farmer who, like, nobody was stopping. These
yeah.
two girls stranded on the side of a highway, stuck, and the car broke down. And
Yeah. All because she just had to go straight instead of trying to turn around and she would have been fine. And literally said that when she saw me drive in on the road, she could have driven in. And she's like, "Oh, we didn't realize that was a road. We could have just kept going." But anyways, yeah, I think that's to me the big thing in hearing the reaction of the boyfriend's parents. And again, I'm not questioning their parenting. They can do whatever they want. It's their kid. But even just joking around, talking to some of the parents at the rink the next day about it, because it's a funny story, how quickly they were serious about it. And well, if my kid did that, I'd this. And I'm like,
it's just
and
don't,
it's like,
that's the problem.
and
We
it's literally, I'm like, you and I just talked at length about all the stuff you used to do as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, you can't be that big of a hypocrite, can it? Like, and I guess that to me is what I always look back on is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the dumbest thing I've ever done. Where does this fall? This falls as a 2,
Yeah.
right? Like, I've done some dumb things.
Like, what are you willing to admit on air?
Well, there's that hobo I killed in Hoboken. Like, that's got to be up there for sure. I don't know. Like, I mean, for me, it was, you know, volumes either on mute or volumes at 11, right? Like there
Mhm.
was no smart progress to my decision making. I was either overindulging and being a jackass or I was just hiding and doing nothing, right?
Well, let's go through some of like different things. Like I'm just thinking of Well, on Boxing Day, oh my goodness, I don't know what we were thinking of, but we went to the
You
mall
sure
on
did.
Boxing Day.
You
The
sure did.
girls wanted to go. They wanted to experience that, but
Yeah.
never again.
Yeah.
But there was a girl shoplifting and she got caught because the girls were in the store
Mhm.
when she got caught. So what if one of our kids got caught shoplifting?
Again, on the Andy meter, I used to do that all the time. So where does that fall?
Right.
Right? When I was in junior high, that was a thing we did.
Mhm. I
Um,
think I stole, and I don't even like them. They're the most disgusting things, but those eggs, like the caramel
oh,
eggs, like with the
gross.
yolk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so gross. I didn't even like them.
I mean, allegedly, just in case there's a statute of limitations, hypothetically, we stole these things. We didn't actually steal these things, officer.
No, I actually just wanted to thought about it.
Yeah, it was just
But
imagining.
just thinking about like truly, it was sickening. My friends, I got into a fight. This was probably grade 8. I got into a fight with my friends. And so they all went to Safeway and I stayed behind
Oh
at
yeah.
school. And thank goodness, because they all got picked up, even though like two of them didn't steal anything, the rest of them had. But because those two were with them, they all got in trouble.
And I guess it depends on the situation because I got busted and I got away. But then I was so petrified for the next several weeks that I was going to get in my adult teenage brain, I was going to get arrested. Like
Mm.
cops were coming for me. And then was I going to tell my parents? And like literally I was so scared of getting caught again and having to that I never did it again.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're talking about natural consequence, I moved myself out of there pretty quick. Depending on the situation, like if the kids got busted shoplifting, well, what are the natural consequences? To your point, what are the natural consequences? Like what can I do in that situation to help them learn the lesson they need to learn? I guess would be how I'd approach it. Would I be disappointed? Sure, because it means that one of the lessons we tried to teach them didn't stick, right?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's situational, man, because I know how easy it is to think it's okay to do because your friends do it or whatever, right? So I'd have to see what the situation is. I wouldn't lose my mind, like I wouldn't be screaming and yelling, but I'd figure out what happened, right? Get them to explain to me what happened, and then from there just assess, okay, is there still an opportunity for you to learn a bit more so this never happens again? And if so, how do we make that happen?
Yeah.
Right? That'd be probably my approach.
And this is the thing. If we are on their case about everything, nitpicking everything, giving them heck for everything from not doing their chores to fighting with their sibling to this to that, they're never going to listen to anything that we say, even with these big ticket things,
Yeah.
because it's just want, right? It's just like the
Parents, adults and
The
children.
Charlie Brown want,
Yeah.
like teacher in the background, right? Like they're just never going to listen and they're just going to become more defiant. So these times when it is a big deal,
Yeah.
you don't even have to say anything. You just need to give them the look,
Yeah.
right? And they're shaking in their boots. Like that's what we need to make sure. So that's why I'm always talking about the red lines.
Hmm.
If they do steal, I mean, if they're already caught, if they're already punished, we don't need to punish them again. I think having the conversation and bring it back to them like, okay, so what are the consequences here that need to be
Yeah.
laid out, right? They'll probably come up with worse consequences, like punishment worse than what we would have ever come up with.
Yeah, I think that's the big distinction is if I found out that they were doing it without there being repercussions, absolutely I would ensure there's repercussions, right?
Mm.
There's some sort of reparation that they have to pay. But if they've
Like you
been
have to take this back and apologize
yeah,
and
and
do
and
like,
figure out with that store owner how you're going to make amends,
yeah.
right? Like that's to me is the thing is it needs to balance. So if you've been busted and something has already happened, well, the balance is already shifting pretty close to even. But if there's a discrepancy still, then that's what I want to do is I want to balance out the act to the situation they find themselves in. So yeah, I think if they've already been busted, well, that's already tipping it one way, right? But I think if I was to have discovered it or there was a way that they hadn't suffered any sort of repercussion, then yeah, I would have to figure out what that is.
And I want them to be able to sit in that discomfort of having to face the store owner again and owning up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And maybe it's I say with little kids all the time who are stealing stuff, right? Erasers from the teacher or things like that. So being able to take it back and apologize. Now, I think it's different if you've got a kid who's like, screw you, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again, right?
Yeah.
I think, that's a different kiddo in a different scenario.
Absolutely. We're talking about baseline kids that aren't demonstrating consistent
Yeah.
negative behaviors. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. But even with those kids, it's not the heavy hand. That's not what they need. They actually need more love and more acceptance.
So like
And
scared straight, sending them to jail to talk to convicts isn't the way to go.
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Just checking.
No.
Just checking.
Like a big brother is what they need.
What if the big brother's the one that taught them how to steal?
Then that's probably not a good big brother.
Okay. I'm just thinking scenarios through here. My brother never taught me how to steal.
I meant like mentor.
The mentor taught them to steal? That's not a good mentor at all.
Not a literal big brother,
Oh, fair enough.
right? Like
Yeah,
do
yeah.
they still have those, like the big
Yeah,
brothers
yeah.
of Canada and
Yeah, yeah. Big brothers and sisters. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
a good role model
Yes.
who will get them into woodworking or mechanics, something hands-on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, those are the big ones. What would you do if they were flashing?
I tell them to talk to their mother.
And
Just chat about that situation potentially. Honestly, to come down to, I'd probably try and figure out why, right? Like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Right? Because to me, that's a self-respect thing more than anything else.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, in the moment it might be funny and it's whatever, but think about, especially in this day and age, like if we were doing that when we were kids, there was no cell phones, there was no
yeah,
Instagram, there's no record of our idiocy, right? Our dumb behaviors. There's very much a permanent record now. And that would be
oh,
the
yeah,
conversation I would have is, look, it's I would prefer you didn't, right? Depending on the age too, right? Like if they're young, absolutely, it's going to be a much more "what are you doing" conversation. If they're a young adult, come on, like be smart. Like you got to think this through a little bit more and just think about the fact that that could pop up in a background check for a job,
yeah,
right? That could come back and bite you in 10 years when you completely forgot about it, but someone happened to have it as a memory on Facebook and it's tagged you. Like it's a different world that way. Again, if they're a habitual flasher, maybe we sit down and say, "Hey, let's keep the Velcro taped up," right? But
Well, I do talk about being well Googled, right?
mhm.
Like anything could come back to you and be traced back to you. With that one, I mean, we don't have to worry about it just because they're too embarrassed to even go into the bra section at Walmart. Like I took them into La Senza the other day and they were so embarrassed. And
That
they're
was,
like, we just need to get out of here.
for the record, that was a missed opportunity because I would have been all in on trying them on to tell them, "Do you think this looks good?" and like put it on me and be like, "What do you think?" And then like loud, obnoxious dead.
Well, you should come because Will wants to go back now. Now
She
that
won't after this.
now that we've gone in, she's like, okay, that wasn't horrible.
Oh, challenge accepted.
Yeah. I can come up with lots of other ideas, but I think it's knowing and having these conversations. I think these are
Yeah.
maybe conversations we don't actually sit down enough as parents to really say, what are those red lines that are absolutely we're stepping in and there's going to be severe. Well, there's a consequence to anything, and consequence isn't just punishment,
Mhm.
but maybe it's severe consequences,
My
right?
bigger
And
concern is
so,
ones that have a life-altering effect on them,
yeah,
right? Like shoplifting, as an example. Unless it's chronic, it's typically just a stupid decision that should be easily corrected. Drugs and drinking or drunk driving and getting injured or injuring someone, that's a permanent life altering
yeah,
outcome, right? And to me, those are the ones that I think would be a more severe response. And I'm not saying punitive. I'm just saying like my reaction to something like that would be far more um stern or just concerned because the outcome of that could be, you could be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. You could be a vegetable for the rest of your life. You could make someone else in that state, right?
yeah,
Because you made a decision that was completely in control. Shoplifting, yeah, don't do it, right? But because there's some moral and ethical piece that you want to be a good person and good people don't steal. Um, but that to me isn't a life altering one. That's more of a life lesson one.
yeah,
So that's kind of the scale I would probably apply. Same with flashing, right? Flashing
yeah,
can come back and bite you. Any of those things, right? Like if you're violent, well, yeah, we gotta have a talk about that. Like going out and scrapping with people, not a good move, not a good look, right? You could be in jail, you could hurt someone, you can get hurt, right? Like those are the kind of severe ones that I think would need to be addressed
Hmm.
a bit differently.
Hmm.
But again, not in a screaming and yelling and you do it this way, my way or the highway type way, but much more of a pointed conversation of, what are you doing?
And I think that it's more powerful to almost not say anything, like just give a stare, like a red face, everything's tense and not say anything. And even whispering, we'll talk about this later,
Yeah.
right? And I think that that would be way more powerful than
Yeah.
yelling at them and screaming at
Yeah.
them.
The quiet person is typically the more heard person in those situations for sure.
And they got to sit in it. Like that's a big thing. They just got to sit in it and with it for a little while
Is that
before
why
we
the
jump
dunce
in.
cap was a thing for a long time? Because it made people sit in their situation? We do that?
Did you ever have a dunce cap?
No, because I was a smart kid.
It wasn't for, was it being for stupid?
I wouldn't know. I never wore one.
Okay, well, I have in my life.
You had to?
Yes,
Come on.
I
Like it's a
did.
joke?
I don't think
Like a
so.
teacher made you wear a dunce cap?
Yep, I went to an army school, like
Oh,
on
well,
the
that's different because
basic.
armies don't treat other like soldiers as people, so that makes sense.
Yeah, twice in my life have I had to wear one. Yeah,
Twice
twice.
the captain, doctor, professor had to wear a dunce cap twice,
Yep.
and Skippy here didn't wear one once. Huh?
You went to nice schools, apparently.
I was a good kid.
Once was I whipped on my hand with a leather, like a leather ruler thing.
Did you grow up in a Victorian novel? Like,
I
what in the
know.
hell is going on here?
I know. Well, it was in the 80s.
Oh, so like a different time.
Did you have your name? Okay, this was way more common. That only happened at one school. Yeah, and I was not there for too long. Did you ever go to, or not go to, but like name on the board? So if you got your name on the board and then an X, and then that never happened to you?
Like, honestly, this is some Coraline shit going on
Okay,
here.
because
Yeah.
that happened to me every day. And so then you would have detention. So you got your name up on the board was a warning and then an X
I think
next
I
to your
only
name.
had detention once in my life, and it was like grade 8.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was in detention all the time. All
How are
the time.
you the most educated out of the two of us with a 4.0?
How is
My
that not?
reports were always the same. Very smart, bright boy, tends to socialize too much. Every single parent teacher conference, very bright, very smart, tends to socialize and lose attention every so often. That was how I rolled through all
Well,
school.
my grade 3 or 4 report card was was the most disruptive element in the classroom.
Well, yeah, because your pointed hat kept poking people.
Well, yeah, and that's so is detention I just thought was a normal thing. And I thought everybody and the name on the board and X next to your name was a normal thing. I guess not.
You went to some crappy schools,
Wow.
like straight up. I think the worst I ever heard was my brother was in the gifted program, or no, it was that he was going to the gifted program. I think I can't. Anyways, I'm getting that part of it wrong. But there was a teacher who knew Chris was gifted, had been assessed as gifted, and in math made him stand up at the front of the class and do university level like calculus or something crazy, something he'd never learned before, and basically ridiculed him because, well, if you were as gifted as they say you are, you'd be able to do this.
Jeez.
Like, that's the worst I had heard. And like, mom, like, you want to talk about closest to murdering a human being? That was probably it. Next to when she threatened to throw my friend off the deck. But that makes my mom sound like she's got anger issues. She's very protective of us. But I think that was the worst I ever heard. Like, for both of us, really. Chris, yeah, I can't even remember anything like what you're describing.
Mm. Well, grade 5, Mr. Ritchie turned things around because I hated school. I hated my teachers. They were so mean to me. But Mr. Ritchie, he actually identified me as gifted
Oh, well.
and pulled me into the gifted program.
Well,
And then all of a sudden I was this angel. My mom, like we were even just talking over the break, like, how is this the same girl from one year to the next?
yeah. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, so a teacher who believed in me and
I remember more, like I had teachers I didn't like, but I don't remember bad teachers. And maybe I've just erased them from my memory, but I much more remember teachers that I had that were awesome. Like Mr. Jickling, rest in peace. He was rad. He was one of the best teachers going, right? Like, Miss Shannon, one of my English teachers, she was awesome. Stern, like I remember her being like everybody was scared of Miss Shannon, but she was awesome, right? But yeah, I don't. My French teachers were the worst. They were jerks.
Oh, I loved
No,
my
no,
one Miss Lovet. We even like went to her house in high school and had
no.
dinner at her house and
They were
stuff.
very mean to me, mainly because I was the stupid Anglo kid for junior high.
See, high school was better. I got lots of detentions in elementary and junior high.
I legit don't remember. Like literally, I don't think I think it was grade 8, and it was only because I was in a bunch of kids that were messing around in class. I don't even think I was doing anything.
Oh, well, yeah, my Winnipeg school on the army base was, and I think it must have been Catholic because it was St. James. So I'm assuming that would be a
Oh
Catholic,
well.
like also Catholic. Because yeah, we had to say the
Catholics,
Lord's
man, they're all
Prayer.
about punishing.
So
Punishing your way to eternity. That's
yeah,
how the Catholics roll.
but anyway, that was the worst. But then I came back to Calgary for junior high, and I still got detentions, but no whippings, no.
No whippings. I can't believe you even had to say that.
Only
That's
once.
a whole different podcast
Yeah.
shaping up here.
Anyway,
All right.
good day.
Later.